Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to GGG Live. Today we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Mirage, which is coming out 1 week from now on March 6th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so you'll be able to claim your Mirage weapon effect by following the instructions below. Now first things first, let's roll the trailer for Path of Exile Mirage.
Yeah, the drops are on. The drops are on. F5 if you want to see them.
They were bound to serve, but not to suffer. The Aphrodite assault our lands, trapping my Jinn in an astral plane. Break their chains, rescue them.
So we got PoE 2 slop and PoE 1 now.
And you will be granted a wish.
Oh shit! It's gonna be like a roguelike! No, they're doing a roguelike! Wait, are they? Wait, how much of a roguelike are they gonna do though? How stupid are they gonna do it? How dumb are they gonna do it? Like movement speed, attack speed? What are we gonna get?
An ancient evil yearns for his freedom.
It better not all be debuffs, bro.
We must keep him in the dark.
Your character has AIDS. New uniques and restore them. Holy skills for the paladin they're putting into the game at PoE too soon. Yeah, this is fraction. Oh shit! What was that? The demon zombie ascendancy. What was that? What the hell was that? To item editors Concord.
In today's stream, we'll take you on a deep dive into Path of Exile Mirage, where you'll unravel ancient mysteries, unlock new powerful rewards, and become part of the eons-old story of the Winter Sekima. There are also significant in-game changes coming alongside Mirage, including a progression of the in-game storyline, a new in-game atlas system, and as always, new rewards to match. After that, we want to talk about the slew of new Holy Templar skills and supports, as well as an additional Ascendancy class option added to the Scion, which some of you may find familiar. Next, we'll cover our new supporter packs, and then lastly, have a live Q&A session, where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile game director Mark, as well as game designer Octavian, your questions from Twitch chat.
Octavian's gonna be
After the live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes at 11 AM NZT or 2 PM PST.
That's 9, 10.
So let's get started.
3 hours.
I'll hand things over to Mark to introduce the new league.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile.
What up, Mark?
In Path of Exile Mirage, you'll be taking on the Overhaul, a sect of desert-dwelling necromancers who have lingered in the shadows for centuries. They are outcasts of outcasts, with no home or promised land. Instead, they seek their sovereignty through darker means. The Overhaul have captured the souls of Jinn throughout Rayclast. They are killing them, sapping their energies for purposes unknown. You must fight your way past the Overhaul's necromantic creations to find the captive Jinn. Here, Virashta, an ancient Mariketh sorceress, has been doing what she can to protect the Jinn, but she needs your help to free them. After successfully defeating them, you will then be asked by Virashta to enter the Astral Realm and break the tether trapping the Jinn there. This gate to the Astral Realm is a mirage,
Bro, is it like
an imperfect copy of the area around the captured Jinn. Now, when we say an imperfect copy, we mean that quite literally. Hold tight, because this league mechanic has some serious implications for juicing areas. We'll get to that in a moment. Virashta can augment the magic of the mirage further, as she allows you to enter, giving you the option to choose one of 3 wishes before you do so.
What is your desire?
Okay.
These wishes are modifiers that will apply to the Mirage area and have some pretty potent outcomes.
Potent!
There are wishes that grant extra rewards, such as the wish for glyphs, which causes all portal and wisdom scrolls in the Mirage to instead drop as other currencies.
That sounds kind of good.
Or wishes that will spawn rewarding enemies, such as the wish for avarice, which replaces a number of packs in the area with gilded enemies that convert their equipment drops to gold. And wishes that can grant you extreme power while inside the Mirage.
Cannot die!
Such as the wish for souls or the wish for godhood, which allow you to consume the souls of your enemies or make you completely unkillable, while within the Mirage, of course.
Okay. I want to just be a god the whole time. What the fuck?
Each wish is also marked with the sigil of one of 3 powerful Jinn: the Sand Jinn, Fire Jinn, or Water Jinn. Depending on the sigil chosen, monsters within the affected Mirage will have a small chance to drop one of 3 new coin currencies. A coin of knowledge, coin of power, or coin of skill. Each of these coins can be used on a max-leveled skill gem, corrupting it and augmenting it with a random support that matches the color of the coin used.
Oh my god. What? 7 links?
Only one skill that is imbued this way
Awaken
can be
7 links.
socketed into a given equipment item at a time, meaning you cannot have 2 imbued skill gems in your body armor, as an example.
Power creep, bro.
What you wish.
That's
Sure.
one of the rewards, but let's get back to the area-to-area mechanic.
Dude, I need to have a to-do list.
Once you've made your choice of wish, enter the Mirage and fight your way through the monsters and astral hazards to find the tether holding the Jinn. Shatter this chain to free the Jinn, step by step weakening whatever dark plans the Ufarood may have for Rayclast. Wishes are not the only value a Mirage has to offer to an enterprising exile. As we mentioned earlier, Mirages are an imperfect copy of the area the Jinn occupies in Rayclast, and it will copy almost anything, as long as it's within the domain of the Jinn. Mirages created from an endgame map, for instance, will have all Scarab, Atlas, and map modifiers the area had.
Okay, this is juicy cuck shit.
Mirages created next to a strongbox will have a new strongbox ready for you to open. Blights can be defended again,
Whatever, dude. What?
legions fought once more, and so on. Effectively, you get a portion of your map to play a second time, and everything you did to enhance the content of that map applies in the Mirage too. These recreated copies of League
Double
mechanics,
strike.
however, have been warped into reality by the power of the Mirage,
They're cursed.
and this has some side effects. For one, a recreation may not be perfect. The factions of a legion may differ from the one the Mirage copied. Or
It's not a
the
bug, it's a
variety
feature.
of strongboxes may change.
Not a bug, it's a feature.
More importantly, the mechanic may be empowered, with new threats and rewards that are customized to each mechanic and are only available when doing that mechanic in the Mirage. For example, ultimatums recreated in Mirages will have new threatening modifiers added to the usual pool.
Ooh, okay. So
Restless
that's actually a
Ground
feature.
can raise slain enemies to fight again, or Quicksand will grasp at your ankles.
Ugh.
As a reward for these new threats, Mirage ultimatums can provide the new Sinistral or Dextral catalysts. These catalyze jewelry with increased effect of either prefix or suffix modifiers.
What the fuck?
As you can imagine, there's a lot of potential here.
Broken. That's broken as
Another
fuck.
example is that Kalgurin ore recreated in the Mirage has a chance to be replaced by a Thaumaturgic Hourglass, a powerful magical device that your Kalgurin friends can mine in order to obtain vast quantities of Thaumaturgic dust.
Oh shit.
Blight encounters recreated in Mirages
That's fun.
have one of their lanes replaced by Ufarood enemies, infested with Blight. This lane can reward a new base type, the Cord Belt. The implicit of this belt allows it to be anointed, causing it to grant a passive tree notable of your choosing.
Ooh, is that a unique version? I want to see that again. What was that unique?
As a
What
quick
was that
note,
unique, you motherfuckers?
Imprisoned Jinn will generally be near the content they can empower in the Mirages, so you don't need to worry too much about getting lucky with where your content generates in an area. As the campaign doesn't generally contain too much additional League content for the Mirages to empower, we've gone and added a whole bunch that will force spawn near the Jinn, so your campaign experience will double down on being more action-packed and rewarding. Now, of course, if you're traveling through Mirages, encountering new enemies, and slaying them, you can expect to find some new uniques. The Ufarood are not only torturers, but thieves, and have over the centuries
uniques?
stolen away priceless Mariketh artifacts. Using their powers of rot and disease, they have twisted these items to suit their own purposes. Flesh Render is one such artifact, an ancient and exquisite Mariketh blade that has been tarnished and befouled.
Damn.
Its rusted and jagged edge is perfect for poisoning and withering your enemies.
That would
However,
ram.
Varashta has in her command the power to restore these once lost Mariketh treasures to their former glory. Acquiring a coin of restoration by slaying monsters in mirages allows any unique obtained from the Ufarood to be
Paladin
transformed
version,
into
dude.
its
Paladin
Mariketh counterpart,
build.
its glorious original form. Flesh Render, for example, transforms
Paladin
into
mode.
Sky Sunder,
Oh, fuck yeah.
the original Mariketh blade that radiates with the glowing heat of the desert sun. When you ignite monsters,
other one-
Sky Sunder reflects that ignite back to you, which proliferates to nearby enemies in a massive area.
Maybe good for clearing.
If you meddle with the
But
affairs of the Ufarood for too
not gonna
long,
single
though,
target like the other one.
you may draw the ire of the Mirage League's new endgame boss, Suresh of the Weeping Black.
Seems like a bitch.
Suresh also has a set of powerful, exclusive items.
Whoa!
Yours for the taking, if you're able to defeat him.
What? Permacrit.
So that's the Mirage League. Now, to face all the new evils, you might want some righteous skills. Some holy skills. In 328, you'll have access to a
main.
slew of new options to bring divine
main.
devastation and return the faithless to their rightful
What have we
graves.
got here?
We're also introducing some supports to go with them, as well as some new transfigured gems. Let's go over a few examples. With Holy Hammers, you slam the ground to call down a Hammer of Justice from the sky.
Oh, Hammer of Justice.
If this hits an enemy, an additional
Punch.
Holy Hammer will cascade forwards, which itself
Kinda like
can
Thunder.
further cascade, and so forth.
Whoa, hammer.
Expending a power charge when using the skill will call down an additional 2 hammers, which can also cause cascading slams.
Oh.
The more numerous your foes,
Oh.
the more instruments of
Hey,
holy
stack.
judgment.
Hammer of
Sweep is an old skill.
one
In
of my
fact,
favorites.
it is so old
one of my
that
favorites.
it's one of the very first skills ever implemented in Path
goated,
of
bro.
Exile.
It's goated.
Over 15 years
What are
ago.
you gonna do to it?
It's been long overdue for some attention.
It's great. What are you talking about? I played it just
With
the other league.
328, it has been reworked into Holy Sweep.
What the fuck?
This skill converts some of your physical damage to lightning, with shiny new effects to match. Some enemies struck by the initial sweep will have hammers of light batter them from above. These hammers cause area damage where they land, so clustered enemies are demolished by repeated impacts. When
Sweet.
successfully hitting an enemy with Holy Strike, you'll summon forth a floating holy armament, a glowing mace that follows you closely. These weapons are minions, and will attack with Holy Strike themselves whenever you do. These holy armaments will copy the stats of your main hand weapon to deal their damage. Stand against your foes with Shield of Light, a retaliation skill which will allow you to unleash a cone of holy light upon enemies after blocking a hit with your shield. Additional cones of light will also pour forth from your nearby
Nah, fuck
allies
that.
when you
I'm
hit
good,
with
bro.
the skill,
Pass.
allowing you
Pass.
to recruit your holy army to create purging light.
Nice.
Divine Blast emits a beam of holy light from your shield, coalescing into
I like
a
all
hovering
those
ball of
melee
energy.
skills.
A few moments later, this unstable orb
This
bursts,
was shit.
exploding outward with divine power.
You know it's gonna be OP, but
Hallow supports melee attacks, causing them to inflict a new debuff, Hallowing Flame. Hallowing Flame builds up as charges on enemies, getting consumed when attacked. Consuming a stack of Hallowing Flame gives the attack that consumed it a significant amount of extra fire damage, but only those who did not inflict the Hallowing Flame are able to consume it. Perfect for those of you who enjoy a more supportive playstyle with your army of
playstyle.
holy sentinels,
Chuck play style. But
or
I actually played
friends,
that. I did play that build.
when they're online.
The other league.
We've also added sources of this debuff to a number of other places, such as unique items, cluster jewels,
Oh.
and the Guardian Ascendancy class.
Ooh.
We also have another batch of new transfigured gems, with many of these being variants for gems which previously had none. One example is the Shockwave Totem of Authority, which casts its higher damage dealing Nova at your location instead of its own.
That
You
looks
might
OP.
also enjoy
That looks
Orb
OP
of
as
Storms
fuck.
of Squalls. These storms warp directly to targets when you use lightning
Shockwave
skills,
Totem build,
and
dude.
arc lightning upon doing so. This gives you a mobile storm of destruction that follows you as you dive into battle. We'll leave the rest of the transfigured skills for you to comb through in the patch notes. Speaking of the patch notes, as always, we love to shake up the meta, so we've done a bunch of balance adjustments to a few other things as well, such as a pass on bloodline classes, expanded the passives available to the Templar section of the passive tree, and various improvements to existing holy themed skills such as Static Strike,
Dude.
Holy Flame Totem, and Dominating Blow.
Dude, they're chatting around and shit. The fuck?
We're also doing our usual improvement to some of the least played Ascendancy classes. This time with a focus on Guardian and Warden. Speaking of Ascendancies, let's talk about the Scion and her new Reliquarian Ascendancy class. For those that have played the Legacy of Frisia events, this class will seem familiar. The Reliquarian is a learned Scion that has studied history at the Oriath Academy. She is a part of a secret society of Oriathans, dedicated to collecting and discerning the strange properties of unique items. All of her passive powers come from these unique items, found from throughout Rayclast. After ascending, first select the power of a unique armor. Victario's influence increases the level of all your auras and gives them a much larger area of effect.
This reminds me of D4.
Or
This-
instead, take Kilowava's Bluster, giving you a chance to have extreme
like a
elemental
Kanai's Cube
resistance
almost.
against incoming hits.
But it's in Ascendancies. It's
Next, pick from a unique weapon power. Widow Hail greatly increases the bonuses gained from your quiver. Or Martyr's Teaching, which causes your minions' critical strike chance with attacks
Whoa, this would be
to be
so good for
equal to
SF,
your
though,
main
if
hand
you need,
weapons.
like a particular.
Lastly,
unique.
pick your Crown Jewel, a unique jewelry power. Astral Projector causes Nova spells to cast from enemies
oh my God.
rather than from yourself. Or take Astramentus,
Dude, this-
simply
oh,
giving you a
shit,
huge
60
boost
flat
to all your
attributes.
attributes.
God damn, what the fuck?
Due to all the ways you can mix and match unique powers, the Reliquarian has more flexibility in how you build it compared to any other Ascendancy class in the game.
The stupid thing is if it's OP, then everyone does
Our
it.
plan going forward is for the Reliquarian to not be a static Ascendancy class, and between each expansion, the unique powers which are offered will change. If you don't like what she offers this expansion, hopefully she'll have the power of your favorite unique item in the next one. Time to move on to the
Magnified
endgame.
Reliquarian League, dude. Oh my god. Imagine
With
that.
this expansion, we are aiming to liven up the endgame, giving players new experiences, strategies to leverage, and streamlining or removing the more frustrating tasks.
Oh my god. What?
Extensive changes will be coming to the Atlas and how you engage with maps,
What?
without interfering with the
Wait, are they
beloved
doing PoE
core
too?
experience
fuck?
that has made mapping so successful.
What?
In the last few endgame updates, you experienced Zana's story. How she helped defeat the
Hate that shit.
Elder,
It's dog shit.
tried to
Hate
stop
that new
exiles
Zana
from
shit.
going mad in the Atlas,
that new
and face
Zana
new
guy.
threats pouring
Ugh.
forth from it.
Pedals.
In the most recent expansion, she eventually realized that there was only one way forward: to destroy the
We have
Atlas.
to admit this.
Zana's recent actions have now weakened the already strained and tattered edges of its realities, reshaping how we interact with the Atlas entirely. To explain how this changes your interactions with the Atlas, we first want to establish some context while having a bit of a trip down memory lane.
Okay, wait.
27 expansions ago, back in Path of Exile 3.1.0, The War for the Atlas, we had a mechanic on the Atlas
This
where
was
the
goated.
Shaper and Elder
It was
were
goated.
engaged in war. This manifested as influence regions on the Atlas that affected specific maps. The ever-changing influence regions made the Atlas feel more like a physically connected space, rather than just a fancy way of visualizing a checklist of completed maps. However, One of the main frustrations with this mechanic was that you constantly needed many different specific maps in order to manipulate the
We're
influenced
doing
regions.
waystones?
We realized we'd love to again have mechanics that manifest physically on your
I think
atlas,
they're doing waystones.
but we'd have to address the issue of always needing those specific maps. The first major change we'll be making
my
to
God.
solve this is divorcing map items from specific
There
areas.
it is.
As an example, instead of having a Mesa
a
map,
waystone.
you will now find, say, a Tier 10 map. To open a Mesa map now, just locate and select Mesa on your atlas, put in your map item, click activate, and you're good to go.
This is beta testing for PoE 2, by the way. They're doing this as a
That
beta
Mesa
test.
may drop a Tier 11 map. You can then immediately return to your map device, which will default to the last map run, and then run it again. Or choose a new map to use it on. It's your choice.
Ooh, it's kind of potent. So we're just running Strand forever, boys. We're running Strand
This
forever.
is one of the many benefits to this change, which is that if you are the type of player who enjoys chaining the same map over and over, or the type of player who prefers to jump around, it is equally easy
Are
to
we
do either
incentivized,
strategy or even switch between them
Show us
at
the
a
influence.
moment's notice.
Show us the influence, baby. Come
For
on.
example, if one day you're farming burial chambers, hoping to eventually get a headhunter from divination cards, and you decide you need a change of rhythm, you can seamlessly swap to your boss farming atlas tree and spam Mesa for peak boss killing efficiency. Up until
Bro,
now,
this is so good
this
for
would have
SSF.
required having some Mesa maps stashed, setting all your favored maps to Mesa, or doing a whole bunch of trading. You'll also notice that the structure of the atlas has changed. If you haven't played in a while, here's a look at it before and after. You will now begin at the center of the atlas, with each corner housing one of 4 voidstone slots.
Ooh, that's cool.
In addition, all content accessed from your map device now exists physically on the atlas.
That's cool.
So you can see everything available in the endgame as you reveal the fog of war.
That's cool.
This also means that all unique maps are now present on the atlas, including some old favorites that are appearing for the first time. Don't worry though, you don't need to complete Hall of Grandmasters every league. You now gain 1 atlas skill point per unique map completed, up to a maximum of 10. Given there are around 20 unique maps,
This seems cool.
you only need to complete the half you want, if you can get your hands on them. Note, you aren't losing any atlas skill points. These have been moved to new places.
This seems
and
cool.
actually, you can get more than before.
Oh my god. It's a power creep otherwise.
Due to Zana's actions, Egan now has a new goal and is determined to stop Zana's destruction by making use of a mysterious new discovery, arcane astrolabes. Zana is currently traversing the threads that weave the atlas together, severing them. With these new astrolabes, Egan is able to trace her movement, but using them causes dangerous side
Got
effects.
raw dogs anywhere, like just squirts on it.
When you use an astrolabe on a map on the atlas, a shaped region will manifest itself in that
Just
quadrant,
squirts out.
affecting many of the maps within it.
Oh shit, yeah.
There are many different kinds of astrolabes,
Combo it.
and they apply different types of shaped regions. For example, an abyssal region, which causes all the maps to have an additional abyss,
Fair enough.
or a blighted region, which adds a blight encounter.
Squirting tangent, squirt it. Fuck yeah. Can you combo it though? What happens if you put two in?
Completing the content added by the astrolabe will remove the shaped region's influence from that map. Upon doing so, every other map remaining in the shaped region will gain an additional modifier. This means as you progress through the shaped region, maps you run will become more and more intense,
You know this is going to be imbalanced, right? And it's going
with the relevant mechanic
complete
getting
cancer.
more and more juiced.
Oh, it's just juicing.
Finally, at the end of the region of maps, once you have successfully rid the atlas of the shaped region, Egan will take you to one of 4 memory vaults, where there are powerful rewards to be had. He cares only for the knowledge hidden within that vault, so any items are yours for the taking.
All of them or just one?
Each vault is associated with a specific quadrant on the atlas, so you're able to target a certain vault if you're wanting to try get a specific type of reward.
That's cool.
One such vault is the Archon's Vault, where you'll be rewarded with powerful unique items.
Not bad.
Or the Zealot's Vault, to acquire valuable currency items.
Okay.
This new shaped region system is one that promotes running many different maps. But for players that want to engage with this new system while still wanting to run the same map over and over again, the synthesized stability keystone on the Atlas tree enables exactly that. With all the new endgame changes, we
What?
thought it would be also good to mention some handy tips and tricks
Are we just
for
permanently
quickly
running beefs
navigating
then,
the new
or-
Atlas. When using the map device, the Atlas defaults to your
I
previously
don't know if I
run
like
map,
that node, dude.
so running the same map over and over is as few clicks as possible. You can right-click unique maps or map fragments in your inventory to automatically open your Atlas to that location with the map already placed and ready to run.
Boom.
When you select a special area that requires multiple items, such as to fight at Zeri or open the Domain of Timeless Conflict,
What?
if you have the fragments to access that in your inventory, it will automatically add them to the map device
Bro,
in the
Chris
right
Wilson
spot.
is pissed. Feel
That's
the weight,
the core
bro.
of
Feel
the new
weight of the
endgame.
fragments.
But there's a lot more in-game changes coming in 3.28. Let's blast through them. Over the last few expansions, we've been working on streamlining the mapping experience. And we wanted to continue to minimize busy work so you can spend more time doing what you love, killing monsters and getting loot.
Fucking hell, loot for
To
loot.
that end,
Dude.
we've made a number of changes. We won't get into too much detail, but here's a quick summary of what you can expect to have received adjustment.
Fucking hell.
We've removed cartographer's chisels and
Okay.
map device crafts entirely.
Ooh.
The loss of content and loot
Deep load,
here
dude, deep
has
loading.
been compensated for in other places.
Okay.
Voidstones now grant special global bonuses while socketed on your Atlas, including adding the new Originator Voidstone, which enables specific Atlas bosses to drop exceptional supports. We'll elaborate more on that
that
in the
Uber?
next section.
Is this Uber bosses or what?
T17 maps as you know it have effectively been removed.
Yes!
The bosses have been kept around, and they better fulfill their original purpose of being a
Yes!
gateway to target farm Uber pinnacle bosses.
Yes!
The most annoying modifiers on Originator maps have been removed or replaced. No more getting turned into a slug for simply using skills.
I'll believe it
And
when I
no
see
more
it.
will you be incapable of dealing damage
I will
periodically.
believe it when I see it.
Petal skills in Originator maps have been removed.
Fuck petal
However,
skills. Fuck
some
petal
of their
skills.
effects are now available from the altars and memory threads.
Okay. Yeah, memory. Put it in memories. Who cares about memories? Yep.
Memory tears, instead of adding a memory thread to your Atlas, will now drop an itemized version of that thread, allowing you to save it for later or trade it at your leisure. We've added new scarabs, such as this Expedition Scarab of Infusion, which can generate some truly tempting logbooks.
Or implicits.
And for those of you looking to take on the ultimate
King
one-on-one
Juice log?
fight,
What the fuck?
the Anarchy Scarab of the Exceptional will place a true antagonist-level rogue exile threat in your
That's
map.
not hardcore.
Empowered by every type of
No.
Wildwood Wisp, possessed by a Tormented
No.
Spirit, augmented with rare monster
No.
modifiers, and affected by a shrine,
No.
this exile is not to be trifled with.
Nope. Nope. Never gonna fight that.
Alongside that, we've
stupid.
also changed
That's
some,
stupid.
such as the Beyond Scarab of Resurgence, which now causes all 3 Beyond bosses to appear when a Beyond boss would spawn in your map.
Fucking hell.
On top of that, we've made improvements to a number of weak Atlas Tree passives, such as Pillage and Plunder, which now grants a chance for items dropped by Syndicate members to have a Fractured Veiled mod. Check out the new The Paths Not Taken keystone,
That's kind of
which
nice.
means your
actually.
maps on average will drop twice as many divination cards. But which ones can drop will be a mystery. And last, but not least,
I like that.
we've also made some changes
that
to
one.
King's March shipping, such as we've swapped the rewards given by sending ore and crops. I wonder what this new port will send back. Ports will now give more rewards for favored resources.
Thank God.
And you can even re-roll them for gold, if they're not offering what you're after.
Okay.
Specific ports will
Not just
now
doing the
reward
same-
specific tattoos
Ooh, okay.
and rune grafts, making it easier to target the ones you
Ooh,
want.
King's March OP for SSF.
Not to mention, the Kalgurans have discovered several new, powerful rune grafts for you to get your hands on. such as the Runegraft of Fury, which causes you to gain rage on using a life flask, and the Runegraft of Resurgence, which causes Arcane Surge to also grant life regeneration.
Okay, they're decent.
We mentioned
but-
earlier about the Originator Voidstone
Kinda
enabling
used that.
access
Not a
to
big deal.
exceptional supports. So let's get into that,
They
as
do
there's a
on-
decent
okay,
amount to cover.
Okay.
After defeating the incarnations of Fear, Neglect, and Dread, you will obtain the Originator Voidstone. As mentioned earlier, this Voidstone allows new, exceptional support gems to drop from many bosses across the Atlas. These new supports are an improvement over the old Awakened support system, which is being phased out. Awakened supports have long been a capstone investment for a character, but there's existed a gulf between the more interesting ones, such as Awakened Spell Cascade, which has some additional transformative effect, as opposed to some of the simpler Awakened supports, which just have slightly higher
damage.
numerical values. Exceptional supports will all be transformative, serving as an additional late-game tool to customize your build around, and extending character customization and creation even later into a build's life.
Jesus Christ.
One of the goals here is to provide interesting build choices, even at later levels and deep into the endgame.
Dude, that is bussin'.
However,
Dude.
we are certainly not aiming to reduce top-end player power with these changes. Exceptional supports will still be super strong. If used well, they will catapult your character even further than before. So, how many are there, and what exactly do they do?
Dude,
There are
Shockwave!
over 40 new
Shockwave!
exceptional supports to discover,
Awakened!
adding additional enticing drops to
Oh my
bosses
God!
that may
What is
otherwise have
Shockwave
felt
Awakened?
not as worthwhile to run, giving players extra reason to take on those challenges. For
Well,
instance,
exceptional.
from the King in the Mists, we have the Hex Toad support. This support creates areas of swampy cursed ground, which spawns toads that bounce towards enemies and then explode, dealing chaos damage. From the Uber Elder, we have the Void Storm support, which causes your raining attacks to create celestial storms of energy that grow over time, detonating as you approach for massive damage. Defeating the incarnation of Neglect
Jesus.
may win you the Frost Mage support. Similar to the existing Archmage support, you are rewarded for stacking mana to enhance your spells with extraordinary cold damage. We'll tease some more of these before launch, but there will be many, many more for you to discover.
This game is going to be broken.
Keepers of the Flame is coming back. However, we do know that many players have issues with the walls in Hive encounters. In order to address these concerns, we'll be making a number of
Fuck
changes.
the walls, bro.
One of the biggest problems is that walls would block your projectiles, meaning that when a hive randomly spawned in your map, it would make it harder to clear. In order to prevent that, walls and hive encounters will now be destroyed by any damage. But we also wanted to make sure we reduce the visual clutter they cause. Hives and their walls are now smaller. To allow players to engage with hive encounters quicker when they do want to help Aleph,
Dude, fucking
we've
Reddit,
added
dude.
a new Atlas passive which
Reddit.
drastically increases
The
the
walls are now
detonation
transparent.
area
They
of
have 1
unstable
HP.
burrows, causing them to reliably chain react and destroy the majority of remaining walls.
You walk into the map and the mods just
For
instantly
those
die
who
and drop
don't
loot.
want to deal with the walls at all, there's now a pair of keystones that
Fuck
allow
the
you to
walls.
block hive encounters or unstable breaches, if you want. Now that this is a core league, we don't want you to have to grow your Genesis tree from scratch on every league start. So now, each womb gift slot is already usable by default, and access to the Monastery of the Keepers will be gained by finding Aleph starting in Act 6 Mudflats.
Are they doing the arm thing again, or
Now
what?
with Atlas Tree and Scarab support, you can have multiple unstable breach encounters active in a single area, for maximum ruckus. Speaking of Atlas Tree and Scarab support, we've added plenty. Here are a few examples. The Massing Forces Atlas Notable grants a chance to have additional unstable breaches in your maps. The Breach Scarab of the Marshal guarantees a breach boss or hive fortress, while the Breach Scarab of the Incensed Swarm replaces all of Aleth's skills with Enrage the Hive, increasing the difficulty and reward from hive monsters in all subsequent waves.
Oh, shit.
Graft items will no longer exist.
Thank God.
But we've moved several of the graft skills to new exceptional
Thank
supports.
God. Holy fuck.
Such as the Hive-born support,
I didn't
which
want
summons
the
an
arms.
army of breach minions to do your bidding when you use a supported offering skill. And the Foul Grasp support, which calls forth a field of grasping breach hands when you recall brands, exploding for heavy lightning damage when enemies approach them.
The arms are stupid shit.
We're looking forward to seeing how these improvements
one
and
lead.
additions are received, alongside a lot of what Keepers also has to offer. From the new bosses and their bloodline, through to the Genesis tree and its many different crafting options, like Foulborn Uniques. Also with its new narrative, we look forward to extrapolating on all of this and learning more about Aelith, the Hiveborn, and its Breach Lords in the future. That covers all the new content we're adding, and that was a lot. From a new endgame system, several new reward types, new ways to juice maps, all of which you can double up in the new Mirage League, and all that alongside a suite of new holy skills, a new ascendancy class, and an insane amount of new character customization in the endgame. However, an important part of Path of Exile expansions is making sure there is a continued effort to improve quality of life. So let's get into that now. You can now
Okay, we've seen
favorite
this.
trades on
We've
the
seen this.
currency exchange.
Yep.
This consists of selecting 2 currencies that you
Cozy.
want to be able to trade between with a single click,
Cozy.
and setting them as a favorite trade. Favorite trades will appear by default on opening the currency exchange, and will still auto-suggest a ratio based on recent trade data. A further improvement to the currency exchange is the ability to open and interact with your stash while you have the exchange window open.
Cool.
Now, when trading in a full set of divination cards, it will automatically be handed in to become the resultant item. If you then turn in another set immediately, the reward from the previous set will be transferred to your inventory directly, assuming there's enough free space to do so. Labyrinth font crafts that previously gave a random transfigured gem now allow you to choose which transfigured gem of that type you'd like to receive. The asynchronous trade item sale history is now hoverable, with full item descriptions of the sold item. When using Divine Orbs, you can now tell exactly which modifiers can be randomized. The ritual icon will now glow if you've got significant unspent tribute in an area and all rituals are complete.
Did they buff it again?
And a pop-up will appear after the final ritual completion.
Not enough.
Also on the topic of ritual, you can now quick use vessels on completed rituals. Have you ever tried to click a divine shrine, surrounded by enemies, and find it extremely difficult to click?
Many times.
Well, shrines now take priority over monsters when clicking in an area they overlap. Since 3.24, we've been looking to add new ways to improve the campaign experience, and 3.28 is no different. This patch, we've added over 20 landmark rooms throughout the campaign, scattered across all 10 acts. Some of these reward some pretty useful stuff, so keep an eye out for the new and unexpected rooms, side passages, chests, and encounters as you progress throughout Rayclast. We want most of these to be a surprise, but we'll show you just one.
Tattoos.
There is now a small central island in the Karui Fortress,
We already was saying that.
all inhabitants of which will drop a basic tattoo when slain. Next up, we're
wait.
going to be talking about our new
shit.
supporter packs.
Shit.
Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter
What are we
packs.
gonna have here?
The Curator of Wisdom and Iron Incarcerator packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Curator of Wisdom series of supporter packs contains 7 exclusive microtransactions. The Travelling Wisdom back attachment has all the necessary tools you may require to chronicle your journey, complete with a helpful rat friend. These chronicles will activate their magic upon identifying items, and will track the number of items identified of each rarity. Just hover the item, or link it in chat to show it off.
Whoa.
The acquired Wisdom unique finisher effect summons an ancient scroll that consumes unique enemies and the knowledge they hold. Most exiles would struggle carrying piles of scrolls while traveling Rayclast, but the Grand Curator of Wisdom armor set is perfect for the adventurous scholar. Any expert curator knows that scrolls hold more than just knowledge, they also hold power. As you cast spells, the scrolls attached to the armor will burn away, before rematerializing shortly after. It also features a series of helmet variations, so you can get precisely the look you're after. Summon your Scroll Shaper familiar pet to follow alongside you. This creature is formed from folded magical texts, and can shapeshift between different forms. You can think of this as having multiple pets in one. It can fold into a fox, and then even burn away, reforming into a flying bird.
Pretty sick.
This series of packs also contains the Scroll Portals, jumbo-sized versions of the Scroll of Wisdom and Portal Scroll that you can make a quick retreat through. A supreme catalogue of knowledge can't remain in one place for too long and risk being pillaged by thieves. The Titan Apex Hideout features a colossal titan who carries your base of operations atop their shoulders, constantly moving through a boundless desert. The Iron Incarcerator pack also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Incarcerator's Restraints back attachment features stockades that were used to immobilize prisoners by binding them to the earth as they were tortured for their wrongdoings. Shackles envelop your choice of torturing device when using the Chains of the Incarcerator weapon effect.
Your P1 characters look so
These
dumb,
chains shatter into links as you batter enemies. Make your way through Rayclast as a walking penitentiary.
Okay, it looks kind of cool there.
Intimidating your enemies with the elite Iron Incarcerator armor set.
Oh, that on a woman, bro? Oh my god.
After a long day of tracking down criminals,
Get that on the witch now.
step into the Iron Maiden portal to retreat to your torture chamber. It acts as a great deterrent for would-be intruders. This peculiar creature was a favorite amongst incarcerators.
Oh, it's like a Siamese cat.
They would be sent into the midst of prison riots to mesmerize and control the toughest of minds. Use their talents to charm other players' pets, causing them to abandon their owners and follow in line behind you instead, at least until it wears off. What better way to execute prisoners when your torturing has depleted their value? Harvest their souls to fuel this map device, condemning them to eternal incarceration. Your kills within the map are also recorded based on the rarity of the monster. You can choose to pin an execution session that you're satisfied with on this miniature leaderboard, which is displayed for all that dare enter your hideout. Additionally, all microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile Mirage.
Dude, I like the
at
Endgame
11
changes.
a.m. New Zealand time, 2 p.m. Pacific. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news.
I like the in-game changes. I think they're going to be really good. I mean, it seems like a way better version of... It's like the good shit from PoE 2 plus the good shit with PoE 1 combined. Right? Combined. To make like this really kind of nice end game where like the Atlas isn't just a checklist. It's an actual map that you explore and go through. And then you can actually... Dude, for SSF, being able to like target farm specific maps, oh my god. It's gonna be so nice.